my interest, my community's interest, my village's interest, my constituency's interest, my state's interest, my nation's interest. So I think we should go from the top order down. Now there are certain issues related to planning and sustainability which are in the which cannot be talked at the local level. There are some issues of the state which cannot be responded. Yes, you can take views. Now my question, counter question to this is that community participation is good, but a tool to read the mood of community dialogue is very, very important, because I am seeing that the community mouthpieces are being vandalized and are being misused by a group of people to their selfish agendas. If they are actually representing the truth of the crux of the pulse of the people, then it is good. But the way the Gram Sabhas at certain points, monopolize or vandalize this particular provision, I think is my concern.
हांव ह्याच पॉयंटाचेर थांबता, कारण ह्या पॉयंटा वयल्यान मुखार वचपाक बरें जातलें. ल्हानसो ब्रेक घेता, ताजे उपरांत आमी ऑडियन्सा कडच्यान एक क्वेश्चन घेतले. खंय वचनाका, नाका, 2 मिनटां भितर परत येता.
जीवनाच्या या प्रवासात आजाररूपी अडथळे निर्माण होतच असतात. हेच अडथळे दूर करून जीवनगती निर्धोक राखण्यासाठी आधार देतं मॉडर्न होमिओपॅथी. चला तर मग जाणून घेऊया मॉडर्न होमिओपॅथी.
परत एक फावट येवकार तुमकां. आमी त्या मुद्द्या वयल्यान सुरू करतात जो मिलिंद बाबान काडिल्लो, की समटायम्स पब्लीक पार्टिसिपेशन is becoming a tool to blackmail somebody. And I would like to take a quick response from Edgar sir.
No, what I wanted to say was, I don't think we are fully, I'm heading into your area of the constitutional framework of the 3 sets of laws, central, state, and the concurrent list. In any plan, they say a development plan of Delhi or whatever it is, we do look at all the central laws, and these are the areas where you cannot intervene. The public cannot intervene in central laws, notably national expressways, national highways, your double track rails, your airports, etc. These have to be earmarked, and they are covered under section 17 of even the town planning acts. That this is what you have to accept, and you have to know about it, and they are always shown differently. When it comes to the other laws, the concurrent list, etc., the state highways, etc., are also earmarked. And as you go down the line, it is the most important law as far as land use is concerned. Of the plethora of laws, the only law that tells you are the 29 laws of the states and at least 3 of the 7 union territories that say that this is the land use, how land will be used, to what extent and to what intensity. Now that should not be trampled with. This is what a Supreme Court judge told me. This is the strength of it. And everything should be put on that. What is missing are the proper plans, and that is the fault of my profession of not putting that. In other words, what does planning do? It gives you the frameworks. And if your frameworks are sound, your projects will also fit into it. Today what we are doing, we are preparing projects because the government also can't wait. You don't have your frameworks ready, they are too drawn out. Whatever frameworks you have got, it should be done in advance. And that is the great advantage. Today the constitutional amendment, it doesn't say that it's in conflict and you have to change the town planning laws. The town planning laws don't have to be changed, except it says you will prepare a regional plan. The regional plan will define your settlement plans, and the settlement plan will define your local area plans. It's ideal if your 640 districts have a regional plan, if your 4,000 towns and panchayats have their own plans, and within it you have the local area plans, and that is what the accountability is for, and that is how the participation arises. I'm afraid that in Goa this is what has been all mixed up, and many things have gone wrong. You see, that has to be brought back, and I think the decision makers have a lot to do with it. I mean, I'm not saying this is going to happen in Goa, whether it's an all India picture, but it does appear that there is a tendency for elected people, I'm sorry again repeating it, at the central and state levels, it's an all India picture of try and stop that happening. And why? Because they want the whole system preempted, so that you stop participation. I can see that is happening. And I'm mentioning this, why isn't it happening that effectively in the districts of Kerala? People are powerful there. Why is it not happening in the 3 municipal corporations now of Delhi, of all the places? So if you want it to happen, it will happen. So I think participation is possible. And how we go about it, I think the whole thing is you keep your framework plans and make sure that those framework plans are implementable, and then you make it possible for the other things to fit in. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'll take a quick response from Brian before going to the audience. You have gone through this process of consultation, extensive consultations. What has been your experience?
See, my first thing I'd like to say, I'm not, while I appreciate the process of participation, it's a very healthy and democratic way. I'm not sure whether in this country we are ready to go down to a participatory level right to the rural area. While the urban area may be ready, I'm not so sure after what we have faced that the rural villages of Goa and India are ready for this unless they are educated enough to understand that, number one, what the policy really is. That's what I'm trying to say, because there is a miscommunication in terms of participation, that every individual thinks that they have a right on somebody else's property rather than what they require for the village. Participation, what I would say, I think, if I may be corrected by Edgar, is about what is the requirement for a village and what is not requirement as a village per se, and not at an individual thing. And I think what Milind Bab's point has been missed out is today the public participation is being vandalized. I think the word is absolutely spot on, because the participation is believed that they can comment on every individual project that is coming in the village.
Okay.
My question is for Edgar sir. The regional plan has been finalized with so many efforts, and then again now the situation again it is on the hold. So as the ODPs. Now what is the way you feel that government should go ahead and finalize it for once for all?
I'm very confused because I was really brought in here with my experience of regional planning at the all India level. Whatever little that was done in regional planning in India was frankly done by the organization I worked for. So I'm not really having all that great expertise, and we thought we will, because when we were called here, that was the kind of thing I put on the ground. But and the first question, we asked many questions to the Chief Minister then as to how things are and how it should, and we did. The whole question was the 73rd, 74th constitutional amendment, because that it was a constitutional amendment, please remember that, and it needed many laws of the state governments to be changed. All the states changed their laws on panchayats and all their laws on municipalities, but no state really changed their laws on planning, because very frankly it was not required, right? Because it's such a flexible document. It says you will prepare a regional plan. It doesn't say whether it should be for the whole state or a district or part district, etc. Right? You will prepare a development plan. Some called it a master plan or a settlement plan. It doesn't define the areas, but it says that you can know a lot of this flexibility was there. So the whole intention was then to push this to the people to correct the mapping, because the mapping had to be done. It was not to be sent to the people to start giving their views, because once you send it to the people, they will naturally say, this is my land. I don't want my land to be agriculture. I want my land to be commerce or industry. They will say that, and that's what they said. No, that was not the intention. That's not the part of the. So there are many things. I mean, also to answer Brian's question. It's not that you send a plan to the people and say, I won't allow this, and there are many things which they can't intervene, and you have to make it known. I mean, we faced that in Nuve. They said, we don't want the national highway going through, so you wanted to stop it at Margaon elsewhere. They said, that's not your concern. If you want alignments change this way or the other, that is what participation is all about. Now, when you explain this to the people in Delhi and elsewhere, they have understood it. Why are people in Goa not understanding it? My feeling is no proper local area plan has been placed before the people of Goa. And a small scale regional plan or a taluka plan is not sufficient for them to understand it. So there are people who are interpreting it for them. Right? I think that is the major problem. The moment you put this on the ground at the ward level, you will see the change that will take place. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from the worst land use, land value scenario called Delhi. Right? If something works there, it should work in the rest of India.
Okay.
And, you know,
Question is kind of related, and maybe this can be taken either by Edgar or from the purview of legislation. That we've prepared a lot of master plans for the city for the past, I think, 25 years with consultative planning and participative planning. So while intelligently elements that have been not discussed by the public are being implemented, as the city is growing more complex, people are not feeling that, their needs have been provided for. So what do you think, are the tools to implement these plans?
I think someone else can take that also. You. Otherwise, I'll be.
I'll throw it to Milinda. That's my prerogative.
See, basically, I feel that it's a very valid point, is that, what is being proposed is thrown in the dustbin after a series of effort, and what comes is someone's personal ambition that is put onto the site. Okay. So, let us understand is very important, is that what are the priorities of the state? Are we and we are spending a huge proportion of amount on non-required projects. I think this is one, and this is where public view is very important, is what that same amount can be used to satisfy 100 projects and create satisfaction levels among the citizens of Goa.
Yeah, this is further to the small explanation I gave to what I did in the afternoon. And it's open to any of the panelists. Goa today is become a hot property. It's a status symbol to have a place in Goa. So there's a huge demand as far as land is concerned, as far as other things are concerned. But the fact remains that Goa itself is on oxygen in terms of its basic infrastructure, in terms of what it gets from the neighboring state, in terms of power, milk, vegetables, and stuff like this. So we are going back to the fundamental question of sustainability, and that's where we need to define the keyword development, the whole nomenclature of the so-called development as to what is development. It has to be addressed in a very clear term so that people understand when someone uses the term development itself, they understand these are the parameters of those developments. That's number one. Number two,
Only one question.
No. I'm coming to my question.
Okay.
So the question is, the question is, there is a demand on one side and there is a need on the other side. The need is something where I would say the local Goans, they need basic things. One of the things that I feel very sad as a Goan is the local Goan in his own land today cannot afford a piece of land. How worse can that be, So when we come to issues like development, we need to put into place some kind of sleeve gates where we deter a certain kind of a speculative market,
Okay.
And this is where I think we need to address the need or a demand-based kind of planning.
Need or demand, Professor, if you
Yeah, I think first this is supported by greed of the Goans. And I think it is no point closing gates.